Now, from this day forward,
beg me for mercy. Admit you were toxic. You poisoned me just for another dollar in your pocket. Now I am the violence, I am the sickness. Won't accept your silence. Beg me for forgiveness. We'll never get free. Lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed, your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the I am the people, I am the storm, I am the riot, I am the swarm. When the last trees fall in the animal can't hide, money won't solve it. What's your alibi? What's your alibi? What's your alibi? What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the When there's blood in the water.
We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
Hello, Mr. Alex. What's going on, man?
Hello, Warren. How are you?
Pretty good. Tell you what, Chaz has got a job when he's doing this, being here every day and having all his material together and stuff. I have a newfound respect, which I've always really respected Chaz and his work ethic and everything. But wow,
Yep.
up to it. You know?
Well, when he's not on the show, he's working all night getting stuff together and all the building of platforms and the state groups and
I know it.
whatever other project comes on. So
I know it. It's wild. It's wild. How are you today?
doing good. Doing
I'm
good.
excited. We got John Baxter on today. I got a few questions for you, John.
There he is.
Hello. John Baxter, and he just appeared. How about that?
How about that? Welcome back.
John, I want to start off apologizing to you a little bit. I was texting you like crazy the other night last week, and there was so much going on. And usually I'm pretty calm and chill and everything, but I had gotten some phone calls from some people that, well, you know who I'm talking about, the girls that when me and Charlie came and visited you, you know, they were talking about you, and I was finishing up all my paperwork for all that stuff, and they said, we need to talk to John. We need to talk to John. We love John. We love John. And I was like, I know it. He's a big part of this. So
I felt the energy. When I got that text, I kind of knew possibly where we were running, and I was running a different direction, but in the same direction.
Yeah, well, at the same time, so I talked to Wolverine texted me every day and a lot. And, we compare things that are going on and this and that. I kind of keep that on the down low, but he had just texted me. And then Gretchen had just texted me. And everybody was texting me at one time that I get information from. And I was like, oh, my goodness, this is getting crazy. I had to just calm down a little bit and say, okay, chill out. And I stayed off of talk time that night because I was like, I better watch it. I'm going to say something that I'm not supposed to say, and I'm going to get in trouble, and I'm going to have to go to the naughty corner. So it was crazy. But
talk time was jumping last night at about 1 o'clock. I was just like too tired, so I just jumped off. But a lot of discussions of what to do in terms of projects, things that people can get involved in. We threw out some ideas, some contacts, some newsletters, and some weekly calls that people can get engaged in with the heritageaction.org. We talked about that, and we talked about healing, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of gematria stuff. It was awesome.
What I like about Talk Time, I can go in and there's a bunch of freaking scholars on everything. I just go in there and say, this, but there's something I wanted to ask you, John. I asked it in Talk Time, and I'm not as up on the Schumann resonance as I should be. Somehow that's just gotten by me. And I asked some people in Talk Time. Of course, they had a lot of good things to say, and I wrote some notes. But I'd like to hear from you if you even have looked at that. If you know, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you know about the Schumann.
I'm familiar with it. I'm very familiar with it because it's part of the technology, of course. But I followed Nikola Tesla and the Schumann resonance. What you're referring to was a guy in 1953. I believe it's Otto Schumann, who measured the electromagnetic heartbeat of the Earth. And how it happens is that so many lightning strikes hit the Earth, and at a rate at which can be measured. And so the ground, when we say ground zero, or with the device, when we measure zero, it actually measures 7.83 hertz.
Okay.
This is a closed system, especially when they can get it down to that number. Yes, it fluctuates how high you get in the atmosphere, but at ground, it's known that 7.83 hertz. You're talking about life. Life is formed at this 7.83 hertz. The ground we stand on barefoot is already registering 7.83 hertz. The meter will show zero because our meter shows ground as a zero, right? But in the whole spectrum of things, the Schumann resonance is super important for life on this planet. It goes back to frequency, right? So really, when we plug in our technology, you're actually given, 7.83 hertz electromagnetic, measured at electromagnetic frequency, which we consider on a meter zero. But that's basically the Schumann resonance, and it's important to have that knowledge.
Can people's whether they're if it rises or does it lower or does it stay at least 7.83, or does it go lower and does it go higher?
I'm not sure if it's gone lower because no one's measured it very much with all the tools at hand. But I know as you go higher in the atmosphere, it can get to 13 or 14 to 20 to even higher than that. And so in that spectrum of 0 to 60 hertz is where we usually live as human beings. That's within the tides of the Schumann resonance.
Will that have anything to do with the way people feel? Will that change the way people feel or attitudes or anything like that?
Well, this is just a theory I had in 2014, is that these cell towers have the capacity to do both bad and good. And if they could revert the frequency that they're giving off in terms of utilizing it for Lily waves, for mind control, or they're utilizing it for cell phone towers, or even the 5G, that they could reverse engineer these cell towers and think of it as a growth greenhouse where you could give out good frequency and plants would grow faster, people would be healthier. So I think that goes back to the Tesla technology a lot of people spoke about. I realized it on my own with no one to talk about with. So that's why I remember all this, because I was like, hey, they could change this. They're like, what is a cell tower, first off, right?
Right.
So I was just sitting in my room and, writing, and I wrote it in, the book that I'm coming out with. But I have all this information, study Nikola Tesla and all these questions that we are coming across nowadays. And I don't know why, but I was sent to this information.
Right. You got some downloads, didn't you? That's a trip. Now, you were talking about your book. You've got a book coming out. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So my intention of writing a book, and I put this on paper, and it's 10 years in the making, and I just never had the time. I took some time off recently, and I really wanted to finish this book, and it's really close, and it'll be launched next month. But it goes back to assisting humanity in a sense of just dissolving the human suffering on the planet. It goes back to this medbed story, right? It goes back to something that I want to put together. I have a nonprofit for Save the Bees, of course.
Right.
I have a nonprofit, and so I know how this stuff operates. But even further than that, right now we're at the precipice of AI. And this is really important, viewers at home. Global elites, Microsoft, a couple of these global elites are behind a lot of the AI you see. And so I had another download, guys, and I had finished the book, and I realized what health technology is, of course. I realized about sustainable agriculture and saving bees. Two of the only two things I ran at for the last 10 years. And I realized that in humanity, we need a citizens version of AI controlled by citizens. So that is a lot of the book, because healthcare is breaking down. We cannot give our AI and the stuff that we use as everyday people over to the global elites. It's the same story. It'll be another Google. So right now is the precipice, and it's moving faster and more exponential than ever before. So in my book, it talks about bringing together a nonprofit, citizens own AI, where it's not just the standardized medicine, it's bringing in all the holistic knowledge, the censored knowledge over the years, and creating a citizens owned. I don't own it. No one owns it. Citizens of at least America and the whole world, this is theirs. And that's the most important thing when we're going this fast into technology. And you'll see, if you haven't heard about the ChatGPT, you probably have. So I don't even have to tell you. It is exponentially the growth. What we talk about social media, you're talking 100 times faster growth than any of the platforms we used as just 5 years ago. So we know that there's a control system. Someone's pushing buttons behind it. I've tested this, and I've tested it and tested it. I took classes on this, and I realized the future is going to be a citizens-owned healthcare AI, who no one is in control of, that can guide us down the proper path. And it goes into having a technology for anyone's technology, regardless of our technology that could help assist us. So, you can only control a computer and a robot so much, but honestly, this thing is like having every doctor in the world in the room when you ask a question. It's like having every question that we have but also I realize the limitations of this because it is, if you type in the word the pandemic, it gives you false information. So as you can see, the history books that were burned that no one knows about, we got to add those history books back that were burned, which is in this healthcare situation, the censored information back into the artificial intelligence, and there we have it, guys.
So we need to put the name Tartaria in there and figure all that out.
Yeah, I think we know a couple people that could help us, right?
Well, John, with the advent of AI, which could be potentially devastating in very short order, do you foresee AI working in any way, shape, or form with blockchain?
Yeah, I'm sure that's a really good possibility because if there is a standard of operation where things are being changed, they can go back and find where the break was. So yes, I really consider that's something that could be added, and that's a security measure as to where things changed. But then again, you always know someone else has got a key behind that. I believe that it's secure, but I really haven't seen it in huge operation as of yet. So I'm probably not the best person to get into communication about the blockchain, as I'm focused on just the things I'm focused on. So
I'm focused on, I can't wait to the day that people like anti-aging beds and holistic doctors can speak the truth out in front of the world. Last night I was on Facebook and just scrolling through, and a really good friend of mine has come down with cancer, and I'm instantly, I just say, okay, I'm gonna pray for her, whatever, and then I just, I couldn't help but reach out because I just had a little bit of success helping somebody with that. And I've tried to reach out. Let's say I've reached out over the last 6 months to 60 people probably that I know pretty good, or I know a little bit, that just in passing had a cold beer with them or whatever, and their family member has a problem like that. And you really can't talk to them. Even if I say, look, don't listen to me, call the person that I helped a little bit, them, or their husband, call them, see what happens, see if what I'm telling you is true. And I doubt they get a call because it's so censored. Everything's so censored. So that's really what we're trying to do here. Take stuff that comes out of your mouth from your downloads, and I believe in that stuff, and get it out to the people. That's it's just so censored. And maybe even AI can help us with that. Maybe just like if there's gematria, there can be good gematria, and it can be used in a bad way. And I think everything can be used in a good and bad way. So I'm excited about this because I am seeing it ramp up.
Well, Elon Musk, I can quote him. He says he had founded the OpenAI with Microsoft, and he actually quit because they made it a for-profit entity, the AI. That's the danger with the ChatGPT, right? It's a for-profit AI. So his conclusion was, if someone created a non-profit AI that person doesn't own, and it's a citizen's, that's exactly what I'm doing with this. And it goes back to what I'm most focused on, which is humanity's health and world suffering at this point, because there's nothing going on than one guy working with Ukraine and his son, and then everyone else, or let's talk about the Middle East, one guy going to war, basically a whole country going to war so that one guy gets all the oil. Yeah. Right? I'm not going to throw out any names, but we know the reality of that, and that's what's going on with these types of things. And if you can break free from that, we're talking about humanitarian efforts. There ain't the intention behind it, The purpose behind it needs to be there, and that's how you solve these problems as a unit. And what you guys are doing with states and the First Amendment, all the things that are important. Without the First Amendment in this show, no one gets this information. So realize the First Amendment is, you see Donald Trump talking about it right now. Censored, censored, censored. If we can't get the voice out, and not only that, where I come in, it's just health, general health, and ending suffering. That's where I want to be. That's where I'm positioned. I have no choice. I wake up and these thoughts come to my head, and that's where I'm at. And so we're at the precipice of this large change. Who knows where it ends and where it begins? We know that things are breaking down at such a level, and things are growing exponentially at another level. So they must realize something, because there's such a big push for this technology. And it's not like this stuff is coming, oh, you'll be ready in 5 years. It's coming within days, weeks. It's never been this fast before.
Yeah. It's been amazing to watch. My awakening was probably 96, 97. I've told people that many times, and there was nobody to talk to. There was no, you might go to a farmer's market and find someone that you can talk to that who has holistic medicine or knows a little bit about it, and I wasn't into the holistic medicine all that much. I really didn't get into this kind of stuff until the last 3 or 4 years. I was more, my lane was the freaking government's crazy and I want to fight them somehow, and I want to fight somebody, because they're freaking driving me crazy. I see what they're doing. But watching everybody wake up and being a part of that, being able to get out information that I believe is true, and people seeing it. And then all of a sudden, people like Anti-Aging Bed, other companies come through, and it's like a big family getting the right information out. And that can only expand. And I hope we can use AI. I hope we can use these things to get our information out. I just want to be the deliverer of information, and it excites me. And I love watching people wake up. There's a light that comes on their eye, like, oh my goodness. First, they're a little scared. They're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And I've watched it so many times. And I know you have, especially in your situation where you've been seeing people. When you say you want to, what was it that you want to end human suffering? I mean, that's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. Yeah, because me and Chaz decided to take on this thing of saving the world. No, it was a little bitty small thing. We won't save the world. We don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to. But ending human suffering is a big thing. I look forward to your book.
Oh,
Thank
absolutely.
you. I'd like to give it out for free. So free download for anyone.
That's awesome.
For anyone there. So it'd be a digital copy, but it'd be for free. Mm-hmm. You can see the story, how I got here, the information that will draw you to your awakening of at least spirituality, health, a number of things. And I give you everything, how I got there, the people, the inventors I studied, how we got to this point in history, psychology. I get into certain things, circadian rhythm, but a lot of things that will connect us. And so that's where I've been, actually. So at least the last 10 years when I had my awakening, 2014. Yeah. And, God told me to do two things. Save bees, focus on sustainable agriculture and our food system, and go after, since I already had 22 years in the bedding industry as a head innovator, go after this thing that helped myself. And each day, that's the only things I've been working on, and with a focus and a drive, and how I got here. And these comments, the fast part of the moving stream, where the rapids are, no one wants to go. I've been there. I've suffered quite a bit. I've took on the big guys took me on, and with the grace of God, I've won. So I had a David and Goliath already. I have another one coming up in October. But this intention and flow is I'm just in the moment, and I'm not too focused on the future. I can forget about the past. And in this moment is where all the stuff is going on. And thank God every day that I have this opportunity to speak in front of people and get this message out. I really do have the intention, just like you and Chaz and Alex, to change the world. And it's a beautiful thing. We're at the precipice of this, and if I could help out in any way as a conduit, so be it.
That's awesome. I mean, health is so critical, and what my experience has been, it's been extremely positive in terms of, sitting on the chair station every day, being able to sleep on the bed cover, being mindful of what we eat. Not only that, being mindful of how much we eat and at what time of the day or night we eat. And I think this is a lot of what Warren has been on quite a bit, is that helping people or showing people that they can kind of help themselves to heal themselves with nutrition, with proper sleep, with grounding, that we've been inundated for decade upon decade of just really messed up food supply, all the additives and all the preservatives and all the sugars and just all kinds of things that have been really kind of designed for them to make money, but yet to kind of stifle how our bodies function. And what I'm seeing lately, what I've been seeing is that I'd be out someplace in a meeting or in another county or another city, and I'm actually starting to find people coming up to me that I don't know and said, "Oh yeah, I watch your show." I'm like, "Well, you never said anything about it," but more and more people are beginning to ask questions, and we have conversations about the benefits that we have personally had with the anti-aging bed products, and I think part of the awakening is when people begin to get in a better health situation, they're able to think more clearly. They'll be able to like step up and step in and figure out things a lot quicker. Because I know for myself personally, I've noticed a big change personally in terms of just focus and attention and alertness. And that's just from not getting junk, in my body that I'm ingesting. So, what you're doing is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really excited to see what this is going to do in terms of taking shape with the project that you're on with the AI. I think it's pretty cool.
Thanks, Alex.
I love the humanitarian aspect, and I know that you've been a humanitarian for a long time, and I'm excited about doing that. I'm excited about getting into the humanitarian projects. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. I had a really cool praise report come in the other day. I had a friend come over, and she's had some major problems for the last couple of years. And of course, I have some of the machines. The Tesla. What we used with her was the Tesla plasma machine, anti-aging Tesla plasma machine. And I'm not going to go into what it was in case what she had or whatever, in case somebody knew who she was. But she said, "Warren, I just had to tell you of my physical condition after leaving last night. After having dinner, I became extremely fatigued and like I needed a lot of sleep desperately. I slept through the night. Lately, I've been waking for restroom breaks and this and that, then waking up. I'm lying in bed until I fall asleep again. So pretty much not sleeping well. And we know we all need our sleep. So after coming, slept solid all night. No more pain in my side. So far today, my eyes have not bothered me either. Just those benefits are great. Thank you again." And then, of course, she was asking me how much the plasma machine was and this and that. And, of course, I told her, let her know how much it was. But there's so much that can be done with that. I think that, in my opinion, every ailment can be fixed with frequency, vibration, and energy. And I don't think that that's not going in and just getting rid of it. Is it getting your cells to where your cells are working and fixing whatever problem you want that you have in your body. That's pretty much what I've always thought.
Well, there's DNA that our own, education system that says is junk DNA, right?
Okay.
And within the right frequencies, this turns on. It starts performing the acts it was supposed to do. And there's stuff beyond Nikola Tesla. There's stuff beyond that I can say, and there's stuff that I don't even understand.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that the photonic light, sound, vibration, even getting into magnetics, the frequencies they actually shatter. We know that the different bacterias, molds, the funguses in the body, fungus probably being the toughest one to remove, which is something like a cancer.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit longer, but there's a method to all this madness, and the people that founded this is over 100 years ago. They are humanitarians. Their effort was humanitarian. So the thing is that they saw these cells under a microscope, and they're able to watch how the cell performs. And so this is a self-healing mechanism in that sense. That's the way it was designed and created. And so under the right frequencies, we are light, and it says be the light. We are light. And at our best, we're healthy. We're free of impurities. And we're clean. I just watched Star Wars last night. I'm not going to lie. I ordered it online because I wanted to see it. And you look at Darth Vader and the guy that's telling Darth Vader what to do. He's old, decrepit, dying. And then you have I feel like we're the Jedi or something,
right?
Because we're just common people coming together. And so the same thing in ourselves. We've got these two different forces at play, artificial, they have all the big machines and stuff, the spacecrafts. And then you have the humanitarian effort, which is, it's much like how the founding of this country happened, right? Guys would pick shovels and pickaxes. So in our body, it's like the same thing. And the DNA just responds to light and frequency as the healing of this body and the healing of this mind in that sense. And in a sense that our DNA is susceptible to light. It loves light, and we need it for vitamin D and so many other things. But that's just one part of the spectrum. Magnetics, cell division, you're talking just the vibration and frequency. The vibration and frequency can get the waste out of your body. You can stand on one of our machines, and just the vibration alone will help drain your lymph nodes, help drain the waste out of your body. So that's why, with DNA, you have to hit it at different directions for the full effect. Just hitting it one direction with the Tesla plasma, that's the machine of machines. That's the one to get. And it's not in reach for everyone, but compiled together, we took it down a notch, and you get 85% of that machine with the PEMF med bed. It hooks into the bed cover, right? So there's if you get some products from us right now, with the demand across the world with the PEMF med bed, we only have a 10% off. It's as much as we can do. But if you buy a bed cover, we can make the PEMF med bed 15% off right now. And I hate giving prices and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is just, trying to move this stuff out at the best possible price that we can.
Yeah.
Then there's, the Tesla plasma. We have 10% off that as well. And right now, if you need a mattress, a biohack mattress, we give you one for free if you buy 2 bed covers. And we have everything in between for grounding. And part of this story, which is this stretchable conductive fabric, if you've never seen it, it plugs in, You know, you guys seen it and you guys show it all the time. But we understand that people have different levels of it can be tough out there. So we got blankets, we got pillowcases. The lady before Alice was talking about dementia. She can get a pillowcase for her father. So we went all the way down, and it's really this conductive fabric that allows the frequencies to work. So as we go to Stairway to Heaven, right? Just start somewhere, go up to PEMF, go up to Tesla Plasma, plenty of other frequency devices. But when I talk about the Citizens AI, you'll see we're at the entry level. We have it. We have what we considered as a med bed for citizens. But this is just the beginning. Once an AI is hooked in that citizens own, and we hook in other frequency devices, other light devices, we actually have exactly what whatever the white hat or deep state or whoever, we don't know, has. Then, you know, this is how you put this together under a controlled environment owned by citizens. So that's great. That's just how it is. I don't know.
Right. Was that the blanket that you just showed us?
Yeah, this is the blanket. It's two-sided.
Oh, the throw blanket.
Got a review yesterday and from a doctor whose patient is using it. And she's offering it at her facility. And
how big is that?
What's that?
What size is that blanket? Are there different sizes or just one?
It's really a one-person blanket.
Like a throw.
So it's 65 by 55 or something
so
like
a
that.
throw blanket. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a throw blanket. Yeah. It's expensive. It's really heavy.
Yeah.
But there's a one ply, about half. It's like $300. This one's $400. But the bed cover is really the one to get for your bed. It fits on any mattress and all that stuff. Anything you use with this conductive fabric can be hooked to the frequency technology. So it's a stepping stone, and you know, the pillow, even the pillowcase. So, you know, if you have never experienced it and you need to get 4 hours plus of grounding, which we talked about is another form of frequency that is this grounding technology. It is the Schumann resonance. You're getting the 7.83 hertz, which is considered 0 on a meter, but really you're getting the Schumann resonance when you ground.
Gotcha.
So that frequency is where life is born, it appears. So with those lightning strikes and the stuff we covered earlier on today.
So you had it said one ply, and then you had, what was the other ply? So you've got one.
Well, this is called the blanket.
Yeah.
It's two-sided.
Right.
It has far infrared inside, EMF shielding, grounding, silver. And then the one ply is just the throw blanket. It's just one-sided.
Okay. And they both hook up. They both can be put in and you can be grounded.
Yeah, these are both the same technology. It's just that this is double-sided and it feels more like a blanket instead of a throw blanket.
Okay. Yeah. Now also, so any of those, you know, you've got the bed cover, and is it called the PMF med bed?
Yeah.
So any of the ones that can be plugged into, any of them can be turned into that if someone purchases the PMF machine. Is that right?
That's correct. And if you buy, it comes with the throw blanket, the PEMF medbed device. So it already comes with that. But if you buy a bed cover, you can get 15% off the PEMF medbed as well. So if you're interested in it, it's much more affordable than the Tesla Plasma. It roughly does 85% of what the Tesla Plasma does. So this is something not first for you. Warren understands this very well. He's got one, so then he can use it on his friends, his family, people that you care about. Maybe if you're at church, join in, make it a community one. If there's donations, get donations for one. But all the little ailments, you can just lay there. The frequencies are absorbing through your body, and there's no worry. If you were to do cancer and you didn't have cancer, your frequency's already there. So there's no shattering of these microbes. There's no shattering of bacteria or fungus because you don't have it.
Yeah.
So it's safe for people to do in front of other people doing it because you either have it or you don't.
Right.
You know, John, even with people like myself that from dusk to dawn, I'm sitting in a chair, I'm working, we're doing shows, and there's a lot of people that are in that same situation. So even something as simple as the chair station is something that you can utilize and get full benefit, and then graduate into the blanket or the throw, or graduate into the bed cover. So the chair station is a very good starting point, and you're talking about moving up in terms of the products, and that's something that I've done personally.
Yeah, it's an excellent starting point because it's versatile. I can take it from my chair to my bed, try it, see if it doesn't work. Right, that's a great starting point as well.
Yep. And if I were doing that, I use that. I take that with me on vacation. All right, or when I'm with Charlie, going to the Clay Clark things, I take it and I literally I plug it up and I will literally put it around around my stomach. You know, I will wrap that thing up and I'll just lay there. And I tell you what, if I don't have it now after sleeping on it, I'm a mess. I mean, I'm a total freaking maniac because I have no sleep. I'm freaking, I don't know, but I can't go without it now. I notice so big, and I notice so much when I don't have it. And it's a good starting point, and you will be hooked.
It's a little bit, we all have a little bit of PTSD, right? We've all had our little traumas in life, whether physical trauma with something that hurts or something emotional, a breakup. You know, there's a little bit of PTSD in all of us. And so those are the things and the thoughts that keep coming, and it's tough to sleep or relax, and the stress, right? And if you're connected to technology, you're going to reduce that nervousness, the anxiety, that stress response. We've seen it with so many of the veterans that were recon Marines that never slept for years. First night they're like, I can sleep, and it's magic, it's magical, I don't understand it, but really it's just a simple science. Basically, we've been disconnected. We got rubber sole shoes. Warren, you cover this all the time, and that little simple thing was all that was required. I have my own pain to purpose story. I broke my neck. Same thing. I just had an inflammation around my broken neck. And I did everything that we talk about today, the nutrition, the exercise, the sleep. And that was just one of those huge marginal changes, significantly marginal, that once I took the inflammation out of my neck, I told people I healed myself. Again, they thought I was crazy, Warren. But yeah, I was running around. So once that happened, there was nothing stopping me to try to get this out to everyone out there.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot throughout this whole process. I never realized that inflammation was one of the primary sources of all kinds of illnesses and diseases, because it's just causing our body not to function correctly. And being grounded, that takes care of that. And this is really something it's kind of an easy thing that people can do to take the first step. Of course, you want to eat right. Some of us, because we work so much, it's hard to get out and do regular exercise and whatnot. But just being grounded, getting good sleep, and then taking care of the things that we can control, watching what we eat, watching how much we eat, making sure that we're getting enough rest. Those are the simple things that we can do to begin not only managing our health, but also getting it back as well. So I really appreciate everything that you've been doing.
Thank you, Alex.
Amen. I look forward to reading your book. I look forward to that. And I love what you do with the honeybees. I love that. Actually, I love everything you're doing, and I appreciate it. I think that everyone at some point needs to anti-aging. John Baxter's equipment is going to be something that's going to stick around forever. We all need it. Frequencies, vibrations, and energy is, to me, the secret to living a better life. I know I do. Everybody could see it when I came back from your place, and I was like freaking different. You know, I don't know what it was, but I know I felt good. And my
even your skin, your countenance. I mean, you just really looked completely different when you came back, Warren. You honestly did.
I know, it's crazy.
But John, I'm understanding that there are a number of people in the chat are asking the same, a lot of the same questions. And one of the ones that's really being asked a lot right now is, can it be washed, and what are the care instructions for being able to take care of the covers?
Good question. So I'll show you right here. This thing pops on. This is the wire assembly that plugs in. It's 16-foot wire. You pop that off, right? This can be washed, gentle dry. We say don't use any strong detergents like Tide. It will just slow, over time, it will start pulling, stripping silver over time. It's not, if you use Tide, it's not going to do it the first time or even the 10th time. It's still going to work. But as the longevity of an investment, right, I would say use something to just get the oils off. And what we usually recommend is a Castile soap. It's an oil-based soaps. Oil-based soaps work good. A little bit of baking soda in some water to take out the alkalinity will help remove some of the oils. So that's really the simple solution to just washing it. We've had people wash it every day, every week for years. Mm-hmm. So we have people that we've told to do this, and they still use it every day. It works like clockwork. So yeah, as long as you've got skin-to-skin connection, that's probably the best. If you wear, this is synthetic. This is a jacket. It's got some cotton. So just make sure you wear either less clothes or natural fiber sheets. Yep. You can use a sheet over the top of it, works. And then when you sleep with pajamas, if you have pajamas, just make sure they're cotton. This thing works off of conductivity, and you don't even have to touch it. It actually works this far away. Static electricity pulls through. So that's the beauty of this conductive fabric.
That's awesome. So like for someone who wants to throw it in a washing machine, you could use something mild that you would use for like hand washing clothes or garments, and just put it in the delicate cycle, and then you'd be good to go.
Yeah, you're just trying to get any excess of oil off. If you use a natural fiber sheet over the top, your oils will soak into the the fitted sheet. You can wash the sheet and wash this less. No one likes to wash something so frequently. Yeah. But most people are accustomed to washing their fitted sheet. So wash your fitted sheet more often than this, and then wash this every quarter or every month or whatever you prefer.
Yeah. And it does work. I've washed mine many times, and I'm happy with it. And yeah, sleeping butt naked is better anyways.
Anytime I get sick, or there was a time where I wasn't sick for 9 years, and during COVID, I felt like someone got me, and it was devastating. I don't know if you remember, Warren. I felt like I do. Someone,
a lot of people going through it right there at that time.
So that was the first time I got sick in 9 years too, and basically, if I feel like something's coming on in that 9 years, I almost got sick. But when something was coming on, I was just getting close to naked, basically, and sleeping on this. You would see the power of it immediately.
Wrap up in that thing. Yeah. Wrap up in it, and that's what I did. I got sick a couple of times, and I don't know what it was, flu, whatever it was. But I mean, I wrapped up in that thing, and I just sweated that stuff out. Man, I don't know what it was, but I came out feeling like a champ.
Oh, and John, one other question. So this is not something you would want to let it air dry. This is not something that you would want to put in the dryer. Is that correct?
You can air dry it. A lot of people air dry it, but you can actually use gentle dry.
Okay.
Delicates.
Low heat, gentle dry.
Low heat, exactly.
Cool. John, we sure appreciate it, man. Enjoyed having you today, always. And look forward to seeing you next time, brother.
Yeah, that was so much fun. I enjoy PPN. You guys, Warren, Alex, and Chaz, you guys so much. And, God bless you guys. Thank you guys for having me on.
Oh, and one last thing, John. It's kudos to your staff, because every single time I have ever called, they seem to know everything about everything, honestly. And so they're very skilled and go above and beyond in terms of giving you all the ins and outs of the information about the products, how they work, how to take care of them. Extremely knowledgeable people. So that is.
Thank you. It took a long time, and those people are very dedicated to this mission.
Yeah.
So they there's more in it than a purpose and just a job. It's a purpose. Yeah.
That's great.
Thank you so much.
That's great. Because
John,
some people like talking with people, but thank you very much, and it's great to see you again.
Thank you, guys.
Adios.
See
you. Well, I always like having John on. I guess you just punch. He just punches out. Wow, things are moving. Things are getting crazy, aren't they?
Yeah, I've been keeping up with watching the Durham deal.
Yeah, I'm fixing to get on that right now. I think it's fixing to get freaking crazy. And we got the Durham, the Brunson case coming. I think something's fixing to happen with XRP. I wouldn't be surprised if it's before July 1st. I think we got some major false flags coming here pretty soon.
Yeah,
big stuff fixing to happen.
Yeah, so we'll know about the conference date tomorrow for the Brunson.
We'll know about what?
Tomorrow is when we're supposed to know about the conference date. So we should be hearing something from SCOTUS tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's really interesting. It's fascinating. So we got Durham going on, and then people are kind of looking at the whole Hunter Biden thing, like, what's going on here? If it was you or I or anybody else that would have been in the same situation with the firearm that he was in, they would have just locked us up, thrown away the key.
Right.
And they're just basically giving a little slap. Oh, don't do that again, please. You know, it was not even a slap on the wrist. Actually, it's a slap towards us because of the dual system of justice that they operate in. But in terms of what he's getting or what the courts are going to hand down for Hunter, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, they got him dead to rights. All this money coming in from foreign entities. He's actually, in doing so, he was actually operating illegally as an unregistered foreign agent. That alone right there is a serious crime and violation. But in terms of the Durham report, what's really fascinating, and it's also totally expected, that where you're hearing from the left, and I really even hate to call them Democrats because they're really not. They're just hardcore Marxists that just want to just bury everybody and control everything. And the questions that they come up with are so ridiculous. And a lot of times the questions that they're asking Durham is nothing more to trying to entrap him.
Yeah.
Say something negative about Trump. Well, you said Barr is this, or Trump is that, and do you agree with that characterization, whatever? And they're completely not even talking about the issues of the case. And if they do talk about any of the evidence, first they bring in, well, New York Times had this article, and this newspaper had this article, and the Washington Post had this article, and this is what they said. How can you refute or deny what they're telling you? That's slanted journalism and has nothing to do with evidence. And what he's already proved is that, and he has said it a number of times, clearly, I mean, there's no getting around it, that the Clinton camp and the DNC paid for this puppy. Flat out. And plus serious issues with the FBI in terms of them not doing what they were supposed to be doing. And maybe even preventing people from doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's an absolute mess. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens at the end of this. And hopefully it's going to go in the right direction, because I think a lot of us have been frustrated because we've been kind of led to believe that, man, Durham's on it. He's going to bring out all this stuff and everybody's going down. And we really haven't seen that yet.
It's going to be a process. You know, it's going to be a process. I'm not going to call it a slow rollout, but it might be a slow rollout. You know, it's kind of crazy. I'm just ready to see these 420,000 indictments or whatever it is. And I would really, 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 really like for Adam Schiff not to be on the TV and me have to look at his face ever again, because I look at him and I want to puke because he's a piece of crap. Ugh, I hate that dude.
Well, there is good news on that front.
Humpty Dumpty. What's that Humpty Dumpty dude's name? The one that pulls his britches up to his freaking...
Yeah, Jerry Nadler.
Golly, I want to puke when I see that freaking...
Yeah, I know. And it's really sad that these people are so compromised without a conscience that they just don't even care. I mean, they used to care because they were a little coy about how they would say things or how they would posture their positions, but now they don't even care. They're just flat out talking all kinds of crap. But in terms of good old pencil neck, or Popeyes, I like to call him, Lauren. This is Lauren Boebert. She is.
I do like
feisty. She's right up there with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, and
she makes me smile.
Roy, and they just go out there guns a-blazing, telling it like it is. So this is very interesting. So this is talking about forcing a floor vote. So she's really kind of picking up the mantle, so to speak, and really getting this ball rolling. So it's going to be really interesting to see what comes of that. And in addition to that, there is another move, and I want to say it was Anna Luna. Yep, it was Anna Luna. So you remember when they were going after Schiff and they were trying to censure him, we had 20 Republicans vote with the Democrats. Well, it's back on the table now.
Really?
Yep. And so that has picked up steam again. And now what she's saying is that they believe now that they have the numbers to finally succeed in censuring Pencil Neck. And in addition to that, get him before ethics charges.
Okay, that's cool.
Because that dude just has no scruples. I mean, he's just one line.
Who was Nurse Christie calling Watermelon Head?
Oh, I don't know. It could be Nadler.
Let's see. Somebody said Warren, Iraq budget is done, signed, ratified. What now? Just waiting on everything to happen. There's going to be something happen, and it's going to be time for all that stuff to go through. I can guarantee you that I'm getting a lot of calls.
Yeah. That was the other really big news. So
new stuff is fixing to, how things are really going to come out is fixing to be known by everybody. So, there's a lot of new information coming out. So a lot of the stuff that's been talked about, I think is going to be a little bit off, right on in a lot of situations, but it's not my place to talk about it because I'm not educated enough on it, but new stuff coming out, expect it real quick.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, great. That was good. It's good having John on and good being on with you. And tonight we're going to have all kinds of stuff to talk about. It's going to be really good.
I'm going to watch everything and listen to Talk Time all day.
There you go.
Thanks, Alex.
All right, amigo.
Adios.
Adios.
Okay, bye.
Go out.
One, two, three, four. I told you so. I told you. I told you so. I told you. Remember when I told you about 9/11? Remember when I told you about Building 7? Remember when I told you about the fluoride in the water? Yes, I did. Remember when I told you about the New World Order? Remember that? Remember when I told you about the chemtrails in the sky? Remember when I told you that NASA was full of lies? Remember when I told you about the ultra mind control? Well, I just want to say that I told you so, yeah. Remember when I told you about 432 hertz, that is, and what 440 can do to you? It hurts my ears. Remember when I told you about the vaccine agenda? Yes, I did. And that Michelle Obama is a transgender. Yes, he is. The dinosaur fraud, the climate change scam, and yes, Sandra Bullock is also a man. Remember when I told you that there ain't no globe? Well, I just want to say that I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.